All right. Hey, how's it going? You're listening to the Dead Man's Tome podcast, a show broadcast live from a trailer park deep in the heart of Meth County, Texas. I'm your host, Mr. Deadman. With me is SK, a life coach that can unfuck your life. You let him, and the wonderful and lovely Tammy G. How y'all doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. My day's been all right.
My jar of toenail clippings is almost full.
Ew, you're so fucking gross. What the hell is that?
That is horrible. That has to be the worst opening ever. What?
Got a reaction, didn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Our guest tonight is Christopher Maggard. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Now, I got a few shout-outs to do real fast, okay? One, first off, Dead Man's Tome has a new book out. I don't know if you like crime thrillers, but if you do, we have one out now called The Lake Tahoe 10 Killings. Now, if you enjoy crime thrillers, you'll definitely enjoy this book here because it's by a former NYPD cannibal cop. Cannibal cop. Yeah, he actually earned that. He earned that title. That's you probably heard about him in the paper before, maybe some news clippings or whatever. From what I know, he's not an actual cannibal, but he knows a thing or two about crime, murder, and the darker side of humanity. So, a crime thriller from him, oh yeah, it goes far. The other thing, if you don't know, Dead Man's Tome has shirts. We have shirts. Yeah. Head over to Teespring.
Where's the pictures of Tammy wearing the T-shirt? Come on, man.
I told
you the shirt he sent me was like 5 sizes too big.
I know. I got to send her the women's.
Did you not try shrinking it in the laundry?
I told him to send me a crop top, but he didn't do that yet.
I haven't done that yet. Make it a crop top.
I'll come over and crop it for you.
My nightgown.
See, look at that, Tammy. SK will crop it for you. How about that?
Okay.
It's not. Come on, you're a woman. You can be inventive about this shit, right? Here's the Dead Man's Tome shirt. I don't have a woman's version of it yet, but we do have a woman's version of Satan is Your Friend shirt. This one is my favorite. You get it in men's and women's, and it just about any size you want. All right, that's all the shilling I have here. So let's get into this. All right, Christopher Maggard. I always start with one question. Yeah. Who are you and what do you do?
I'm the guy you just said, Christopher Maggard.
I like that. And I definitely enjoy smart answers.
I'm just a hardworking guy that's following his dreams. I'm a writer, director, producer, editor. I've had a TV show for 5 seasons. I've got a book under my belt that I recommend no one to get. I'm a husband, father, and just a hardworking man. Well,
all right.
Oh, and a papaw. Yeah.
Aww.
No, it's a lot of hats, though. So you wear a lot of hats. That's good, though.
A lot of hats.
Right? So let's get into, I believe, you have a new movie out, right? Rosa Leigh?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes, I do.
All right, let's talk about that real fast. Tell us about that.
Well, I've always wanted to shoot a feature. I mean, I worked in the film industry when I lived in California for 5 years, from the early 90s to, well, actually longer than that, early 90s to late 90s. And I was a production assistant. Pretty much what that is you go get this and get that and do this and do that, and you just pretty much do everything.
Yeah.
And so I was bit by the film bug, and then I moved out here to Northern Kentucky in late 2004, and so I got involved in a reality series, paranormal reality series. We can talk about that later. And then I shot a documentary after that, and we'll talk about that later. And then I looked at my wife. I says, I want to shoot a feature film. And she looked at me. She's never been involved in the film industry. And she looked at me like I was insane. Like I just came out of my straitjacket. Yeah. And so we got a very small budget. And there was a story from the school in Middletown, Ohio, called Poasttown Elementary School, which is one of the haunted locations, supposedly one of the most haunted schools that I know in the nation. And it still's got my head scratching the shit that happens there. I can't figure it out for the life of me. So there was a story about a little girl that when that school was open, fell down these back steps from horsing around with other boys and kids and stuff. And she didn't die in the school, but she later on died from her injuries at home a couple weeks later. So I just kind of took that story, and then I took another story. I kind of took, and Tammy's probably not going to like this one, but I took the I'm Mr. Showboat, know-it-all, I'm always possessed Zach Baggins kind of style and attitude that, what would a real paranormal investigator do if they actually face the things they think they're always catching?
Yeah.
Right.
They're always catching demons. What would they actually do if they faced that demon?
Right. I mean, I would like to see Zach Baggins get his ass thrown around the room by a demon. Come on. Yeah.
I'm there with you. But Zach's listening. Cheers, Zach. You know my number, brother.
Hey. No, it's fine. I mean, he acts all tough and all that, and it's, probably kick my ass. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say otherwise. But a ghost or a demon? Come on, man. Come on. How much weightlifting do you have to do to kick a demon's ass? I don't think there's anything you can do, right? A demon should be able to snap like a twig, right? I mean, I would think.
You would think. So what I did, I took that story and I put it together, wrote a script, and then I had some people come in and started helping me out. And it was a passion project. And everybody just jumped in, and Santiago Cirilo from, he's been on Discovery Channel, Investigation Discovery Channel. He was on Walking Dead. And he had a small part in the beginning. And then the lead actor I was going to use, him and his wife quit. They just didn't have time for it, so I asked Santiago, hey, you want to step up and take this? And he's like, hell yeah. And then my good friend Sean Burton Saunders of Ville TV and Creative Motion Studios, there's a plug, thank you. And he had a small part, and so he said, well, I got an actress you want to use. I'm like, absolutely, dude. Let me talk to her, and her name is Jessica York.
Mm-hmm.
And her and Santiago nailed it. And then we got the rest of the cast in, Tommy and James Troop, and then Joe Kidd, and my good friend Eric Passive, who has never acted in his entire life. And we put him on there because he had the look I was looking for, like a gangster from L.A. And he fit the part, and he didn't know what to do. He read the script. He tried. This poor guy, he's working with seasoned actors, and he's like going, what do I do? And I'm going to tell you, Santiago, Jessica, Joe, and Tommy and all them stepped up and really coached him and helped him. And before that film was even being done, Eric acted like a natural. And, and I was proud of him.
That's cool.
Very cool.
So, I mean, for my first feature, it's not a great film, but it's not a horrible film. I learned a lot of things from shooting my first feature, and what to do and what not to do, and who to work with and not to work with, and what to look for and not to look for. And
did you learn to not do it again?
I learned that not to do it the way I did it this time, but the next one that we're working in pre-production now, it's going to really screw people up. It's going to touch a very touchy situation that's going on in the United States right now. So,
okay.
But Rosa Leigh, I was very shocked to win 2 awards at the Las Vegas International Film Festival this year for Best Horror Film and also Best Hair and Makeup. And we just won another award for another film festival, and we've been selected in quite a few film festivals. So I'm pretty happy with that, even though I got a shitload of hate mail and and negative responses for the film. I'm like, hey, you know what? Quentin Tarantino gets shitty responses, so that's cool.
Who's giving you hate
mail?
So,
oh, dude, it's just that? Because they're like, you should have never made this film. It's so horrible. They shouldn't even train film students this film. I said, look, you make a film on $13,000.
Oh,
and they're
Jesus.
like, oh, you did it on $13,000? My bad, dude. Good film. Thanks.
Yeah, right. And some of these people who complain, I mean, have they made a film themselves?
I've asked that. But, I'm a nice guy, and I got to be politically correct when it comes to the industry because I don't want to be known the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I tell them, thank you for your opinions. I appreciate it. And then I get done and I tell them to fuck off in my own words. But,
got to be nice.
It's just, but, for me, the negative input actually helps me grow as a director, as a producer.
I got to say, I've been in and around filmmaking for a long time, and so when I give filmmakers shit, it's because I know it's just so much fun and so much pain and exhaustion and love and passion all rolled up in one. It's kind of just it's a total exercise in madness that you involve a lot of other people in.
It is, man.
And it's wonderful and awful at the same time.
It is. I'm going to tell you, when I was done with the editing and ready to release Rosa Leigh, dude, I was shitting bricks. I ain't going to lie.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of lost footage that never got... There was a lot of footage that didn't get shot because of a certain DP that I had that didn't want to do things the way I wanted. And it caused me a lot of headaches, so there was a lot missing in this film that was never shot.
Like he didn't push the record button or what?
No, he just would tell me, well, I ain't got time for that. Oh, well, you're under contract.
Wow.
But I've learned a lot, and I wish that guy the best in whatever he does. But I'm going to excel.
Yeah.
And I will excel.
And you're going to, yeah. Because you have more projects lined up, right? You want to do it again. You actually want to do it again.
Yes. Well, I just got done working with I have a great film crew I work with now. And, I'm going to give a couple shout outs to them. It's Herschel Zahn from Renegade Arts Production.
All right.
Austin Sheehan from Small Step Films. And JC from Crimson Knight Productions. And I tell you what, we've all worked together on a 48-hour film festival here in Louisville, and we won awards for that.
Nice.
And it's a great crew to work with, and I'm happy to be with this group. And we're actually all going to be working together on the next film that we're in pre-production for now.
Oh, nice. Now,
in case people don't know what a 48-hour film festival is, you get a team together and you have exactly 48 hours to write, shoot, edit, and submit a short film, probably in the 5-minute range typically.
Wow.
Yeah, we were allowed 7 minutes.
7
up to
minutes.
7 minutes.
Wow.
But you have 48 hours. You have 48 hours to do the whole thing. From the time you have certain constraints like a subject, maybe certain elements that you have to include in this film, like a line or maybe a prop or different types of things, so that you can't have it snuck a head start on the story.
Exactly, and that's what we had. They gave us a line to use. Let me call a friend, and we had to use an object, and we used the object, and we got the genre that we had to shoot Friday at 7 p.m. We started from there. We had writers that night, and then we started shooting first thing in the morning after the writers were done.
Yeah.
And we got done shooting. I was on-site editor and DIT, which is pretty much data management. And as they filmed, they gave me the product. I downloaded it, backed it up, started editing on the timeline. I got done at 4 a.m. Sunday morning.
Oh, wow.
And I passed out. And the film was done, edited, color graded, sound, and turned in. We had to have it back in Sunday at 7 p.m. We had it in at 6:30.
Wow. What do you do with a 7-minute film though? Like
you can do a lot.
Yeah, you
You do
can.
a lot.
And it's out there. It's called The Things I Miss, which is actually a really good. I've had it linked on my Facebook page a few times. I'll put it up there again if anybody wants to see it. But it's actually a really good.
By the way, we reached 10 likes on the live stream, so I'm gonna be taking this double shot here of Kraken rum. So doing that.
Kraken cum?
No, not cum, rum.
Oh, rum.
It might be,
I mean, it's
it might be cum. Oh shit.
I mean, depends where you're at.
Oh my god.
Man, that was good stuff. All right.
You swallowed.
Yeah, Jesse swallowed.
Yeah, I swallowed. I swallowed as soon as possible.
He always does.
And it's the crew I work with. All right. They're all gutter brained.
Perfect.
I know a bunch of perverts I work with. Jesus. But going back to Rosa Leigh, because there's one thing I kind of want to go a little bit deeper on. So that's based on what experience at a school? Based on a true paranormal thing at a school? Like what's going on with that?
Yeah, they say the little girl haunts the school now.
For real?
So I based it on that and ran with that, and so I just took it to the next extreme, which there's hints in the film, which I don't know if anybody caught it but there's a symbol on the demon in there that's in charge that kind of like took over Rosa Leigh. Because there's a symbol on her forehead, and that same symbol, the symbol's on her chest and the symbol's on Rosa Leigh's forehead. And the story is that in the 1950s, the mother was out from her family, and then she started practicing black magic, and she conjured this demon, and this demon didn't possess the mother, but possessed her baby that was still in the belly.
The
and
baby
Rosa Leigh was born possessed.
Oh man, you gotta abort that thing real fast. Get rid of the possessed babies.
Oh no, we kept that. We kept it. We wanted to come out screaming like a demon. Pun intended.
Throw her down the stairs.
Do,
hit her with a baseball bat. Get rid of the cursed baby. Okay.
Oh, it came out with a baseball bat, man. It was a Negan bat, It knocked the doctor out. But so Rosa Leigh was born possessed, and she was given hell for 7 years at her school, and then the teacher found her and pushed her over the edge that she was causing problems for her, and she died, and he died with her, and so it comes to the modern times where Santiago's character and all them started investigating the school, come to find out he's related to Rosa Leigh, and and so it just turns into this typical Hollywood story, or Hollywood takes the story and just embellishes the shit out of it, and that's what I did. I just embellished the shit out of it.
Well, yeah.
Now you said in this film that there's a Zach Baggins type of character.
Well, they didn't really fulfill the type of character I was looking for, but it was the way Santiago delivered the character. I absolutely loved it, and I just ran with it. And I was like, okay, dude, you got this. Just run with it. We'll go ahead and go with this. But it still was the premises of what does a paranormal team do when they run into a so-called demon that they speak of all the time. People are like, oh, I saw a demon, or this demon's attacked, or really, what would you do if a real one stood in front of you?
Right.
That's the premise behind it.
Try to punch it. What would Zach Baggins do? Try to drop it? Does he know jujitsu?
Ask him
he
for
would
money.
probably or say, possess me, please.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. He'll ask for it to possess him.
Possess me, and then he'll act like he's possessed. I'm possessed, guy. Okay, hold on. Okay.
And then the demon will stand there and start looking at her fingernails going, are you done yet?
Look, I don't want to go too hard on Zach Baggins. Does he make stuff up, or is he legit?
Now, let me tell you what. I worked with those guys 3 different times. And what they do, there's no script. Not like Ghost Hunters or
Yeah.
And, some of these shows now, a lot of them are scripted, but Zach and them are not scripted. They go in there, they film their own shit, they literally film their own shit. They edit it themselves. Because I went through the editing process on a couple episodes that I worked with them on, and, they're calling me, hey, I need this footage. Okay, here you go. Okay, this is what we're going to do with this. Okay, cool, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So they do their own shit. Now, Aaron has his role. Zach has his role, and then at the time, it was Nick. And Nick's the more somber, cool collective. Aaron's the more, I'm going to freak out in the toilet if something crawls up and grabs my ass.
Yeah.
And then Zach, the demanding, you do this, as I say. So, Zach, let me put it this way. Zach is the type of guy that can take that tarnished Canadian penny and turn it into millions. He's brilliant. He's a brilliant businessman.
Oh, that I have no doubt about.
Hands down. And that's been long before he even started Ghost Adventures, him and Nick. So he was already a businessman before then. And so he's just smart. He's a very intelligent man, and he knows it. So now, as far as him and I had a couple disagreements, and that's fine. That's just the way it is, because I'm
gonna happen.
I point things up more realistically, and then and I get it. They got a TV show and it's working for them, and they're running with it.
Yeah, and that's part of it, right? They have a show. They have to make it. They have to make it entertaining, otherwise people aren't going to watch, right?
Can't have duds.
Right.
Episodes.
I mean, so do they fake it? The 3 times I worked with them, I've never seen them fake anything.
Yeah, I can say the same.
I can say that for a fact.
I don't know if they. Of course, I never worked with them hands-on, so I don't know if they fake anything. But now, would they misread something or try to? Would they I think I heard something.
Overstate,
exaggerate. Yeah.
Oh, they've done that.
Yeah, like a fisherman's tale, right? I mean, that's pretty much what they're doing. They're putting on a good story.
Yeah, instead of saying, I caught a 180-pound bass, which was only probably 18 pounds. But, but I mean, it's TV, man, and you just you can't sit there and go, okay, nothing's happened here. Oh no, there's a sound. Oh, okay. No, you gotta. No one's gonna watch that. I mean, that's TV, and they know that. I mean, that's part of the game. But again, there's stuff they bring that's interesting, and there's stuff they bring. I'm like, okay. Yeah. But bottom line, I can say with certainty from when I worked with them, they do not fake anything.
They don't fake anything. Okay. Now, what about for you with your experience in the paranormal? Not that they fake anything, but what has your experience been like? Have you, how do you go about it? The strangest place you've been? Have you found anything? And why do you do it? Let's start from there. Why do you do it?
Well, I'm going to tell you why I got involved with it.
Yeah.
It was in the 80s.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Cocaine?
There was a lot of cocaine, a lot of
hookers.
No, I was a wee little lad buying cocaine from mother. Hey, can I have some of that, please, in my cereal? But no, what happened was living in Fountain Valley, California, and my parents had we got this really beautiful home. And after we lived there, my sister, she was a year and a half older than me. And she was more of the rebel type girl. She was Motley Crue. She was a Motley Crue fan and smoked weed. And, she was just a hardcore rebel. And she started getting attacked. And we didn't understand what the hell she was doing or what was going on. And Mom and Dad didn't believe it. It was like, oh, you're just imagining this and that and blah, blah, blah. Well, it started progressively. It started getting worse.
Getting attacked.
When you say attacked, what does that mean?
Like a slap in the face?
Physically. A little worse than that. I'll tell you.
Name calling?
Oh, yeah. Well, probably name calling. Oh, no, that was me going, you fucking idiot. No. What it started the first night, it kind of alarmed us all. It was 2 a.m. in the morning, and my sister woke up screaming so loud the whole house woke up. My brother was living there. My other sister was living there. Mom and Dad had the whole upstairs. And we come running down to my sister's room. And she had a habit of, she had one of those water beds that had the double layer drawers underneath, the real fancy water beds, the 80s shit.
Yeah.
And so she always had her left leg hanging off the edge. Well, she woke up laying on the floor screaming, saying someone grabbed her calf really hard and pulled on it.
Well, SK was sleeping under her bed. Wait. How old was she?
She was 16.
Oh, well.
No, 14.
I don't know what SK does.
Nope.
Nope.
Sorry.
It wasn't you.
Now, I might have done that to my own kids. But not somebody else's.
Yeah. You got rules.
Right. Guidelines. Come on. So we checked the house. Everybody broke in. Doors were locked. Windows were locked. And we just thought, she had a bad dream. Mom stayed down there with her until they got her calmed down, and she went back to bed. Well, next morning we got up and Kim came out and she showed her leg. She had a bruise of a large handprint on her calf.
Holy hell.
So we're like, okay, that's weird.
Was it like a...
Yeah.
And so from that point on, she started getting her hair pulled. We actually watched her walk into the hallway between her bedroom and the living room, and it literally looked like someone was punching her in the gut. And she was backed up against the wall, and you could see her gut going in like from a punch.
Oh my God.
And she was screaming, didn't know what to do.
Man, she's
and then you see her hair get pulled.
What?
You see her hair get pulled down, and no one's pulling her. Yeah, we've seen this. And no one's there pulling her fucking hair. And this kept going on more and more and more. And then upstairs, when our parents were home, it sounded like someone broke in and was just tearing up the upstairs. We run up there, my brother and my sister and I would run up there, and there's no one up there. We get back downstairs, we hear it again. We run up there, open up the closet door, and you see all the clothes, just like someone ran through the closet clothes. And it was just insane. The ultimate thing that made us move out of this house was, and I'll never forget this as long as I live, is that those two things. Let me say the first thing for the really bad part.
Okay.
I remember I had to get up early in the morning. I had to go to the bathroom. There was a bathroom down by my house, my bedroom. So I walk out in the hallway and I see a man standing there, and he kind of had that smoky predator look. You know what I'm talking about? Like that predator shimmering look.
Yeah, like the invisibility look to it, right? Like how the Predator looked in the Predator movie.
Oh, the invisibility distortion.
Camouflage.
Distortion, but it was smoky. And so I'm just staring at it. I'm stuck in my tracks. I couldn't friggin' move. And mind you, I'm just a wee little lad. I'm about 10, 11 years old at this time. Just, I don't know, a little older than that. And that thing walked into the bathroom. I'm like, I ain't going to the bathroom. I'm going back to bed. So that freaked me the hell out. But the ultimate thing that made my parents decide to move out of this house and realize something was going on. And mind you, before this happened, my sister was taken to the doctors by my mom and dad several times because of these attacks, thinking maybe she had something mentally going on. She went through psych valves, blood tests, anything you could think of. And
man,
nothing wrong with her.
And you know what we're talking about too? We're talking about bruises on your sister. And you said she was 16, right?
Yeah. And so, my dad was questioned. My mom was questioned. My brother was questioned.
Did CPS get involved and things like that? Because
CPS wasn't really that big back then.
Yeah,
back
in the 80s.
Like it is today.
No, man, they would be in that shit in a heartbeat. They'd be blaming the parents.
So it was, my parents called a priest in, they're going to do a blessing in the house. And my mom and dad started getting involved with, reading the Bible, trying to figure out things that's going on.
Does the Bible work? Sorry.
I don't know. No, for me, it didn't. But it made my parents feel comfortable, but it still didn't work. But the ultimate thing that decided for my parents to move us out of this house, it was a Saturday around 11:30 a.m. in the summertime, and we were all sitting around in the kitchen. My sister was sitting more into the kitchen by the kitchen sink. I'm by the dining room table. My mom and dad are sitting at the dining room table. My brother's leaning up against the kitchen bar, and we're just talking about what we're going to do. And I'm like, I'm going to go down to my friend Raymond's house. We're going to go play Star Wars. I was excited. And then within a few minutes after that, it looked like someone grabbed my sister's shoulders and pushed her right into the kitchen window.
Oh my God.
Wow.
She put her hand out to brace for the impact, and of course she went through the window with her hand, and it sliced up her arm.
Went through the window. This ghost thing.
Her hand did.
Okay.
Wow. And so that right there, ultimately, our parents moved us out of that house. My dad had to get a different job. We went through pure hell for about 2 years.
I can imagine. Was there something about the house, though? I mean, on sacred ground or cemetery? Like, what's do you know anything about the house?
The only thing my mom and dad found out was it's downstairs, plugged in my desk, underneath my desk. Take this one. Sorry, that was my wife. What, honey? What my mom and dad found out after we moved out of the house, I did a little research. The gentleman that lived in it before my parents got it, he was one of these womanizers that, a woman doesn't speak until spoken to, and needs to be barefoot and pregnant. And if you speak out of terms, you have to pay for it. He just very mean to his wives.
So his wife wasn't Hispanic? Because
no. Maybe.
My wife would
not. It was California. No, just kidding. So come to find out, he died of a massive coronary heart attack there in the house, and that's the only thing we can think of because my sister was such a rebel and not, submissive to do as I say, not as I do. So that's the only thing we could tie together. I mean, do we have proof of that? No, we don't. But I mean, that's the only thing that made any kind of logical sense. And the crazy thing, after we moved out of the house burned down.
Holy shit. That's insane.
All right, Tammy, this is your area. This is your paranormal stuff. Come on. You got some questions?
I'm at a loss for words. That is just crazy. I mean, I've experienced some crazy shit, but that's like above and beyond anything that I've experienced. All right, let me help you.
So did you ever check on, was a new house built on that lot?
Yeah, they rebuilt that house. So that house is still there today. Have I ever gone back and knocked on the door and say, hey, you guys have anything crazy going on here? No, I haven't. I like to leave it alone. But I have a feeling that it didn't stay there because I think it followed us because being the bad little big brother I wanted to be, I would yell at it and say, leave my sister alone. You come after me, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Well, the new house we moved into in Riverside and Grand Terrace, shit started happening again, and it started coming after me. And then when I moved out, it still attacked. I still was getting attacks.
Yeah.
And then I had to deal with, I had to get a local priest involved, a church involved, and I had to throw away a bunch of stuff that I kept from my childhood, just in case there was attached energy to it. And
right.
So from that point on,
go ahead. Sorry.
Well, from the point on when my sister got attacked when I was a little kid, I started reading books and trying to understand how can something we can't see actually physically attack a physical person. How's that even possible? That doesn't make sense.
Oh, I got some other questions too, but okay.
I just kept studying and doing my own research. And in the late 70s as a little kid, and the 80s as a teenager, and I just kind of started doing urban legends and just following things that trying to find an answer, and I could never find a fucking answer because everybody has their ideas, but no one knows exactly what did it and how that's possible. And I still don't know how it's fucking possible.
Did you ever do any research on that property after the fact?
It was in Fountain Valley, California, which has been a developed community. I mean, if you know anything about Southern California, well, you should. Tell me, you live Northern California, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Fountain Valley is just like Huntington Beach, Newport Beach. It's just packed, you know, houses on houses. They've been around since the 1970s and 60s. And, you know, so old California used to be, you know, settlers, you know, and people, you know, before then, you know, you have the Hispanics that used to own California and Arizona and Mexico and Texas until that Great War happened and they lost it. And then, you know, the United States took over. And so, I mean, who knows, man? I mean, there's so much history throughout the United States, and there's a lot of big battles.
What I find interesting,
do you think?
Oh, sorry, you can go, Tammy. Sorry.
Do you think she was messing with any like occult stuff?
Oh no, Kim, fuck no. She's all about her smoking her weed and listening to Motley Crue.
Maybe he didn't like the weed. Maybe he didn't like the weed.
Yeah, probably
some good shit, man.
See, the reason I ask is because SK grew up near a cemetery, and he hasn't seen anything.
Nothing.
SK,
literally across the fence from cemetery.
Dude, I slept in the cemetery.
We'd take our friends in there and try and get them all scared. Well, especially the girls, right? Because that was cool.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Right? Get them clingy.
Hey, exactly. Here, come here. I'll hold you. I'll protect you. I got you.
Works great, too.
Yeah, great.
Tisk, tisk.
Hey. You know it works, Tammy.
Nah.
You would just act the part. You would just act it.
Well,
but it's true. And I've said it on the show many times before. I would spend many hours instead of going to sleep, I'd be looking out my bedroom window at this really creepy lit cemetery, you know, like a single light bulb kind of lighting from the street.
Oh, yeah.
You know, trying to see something. You know, there's got to be something going on there. But then, you know, 18 years, I never saw anything.
Were you smoking weed?
I was not.
There you go. That might be it.
Might want to give it a try.
You know, if I wanted to see something in a cemetery, I'd probably do mushrooms.
There you go. But see, I'm going to tell you what, man. I have experienced stuff on my own, and out of the 30-some years I've been involved with the paranormal, I'm not anymore. I've captured one photo of I would call an apparition, and I can't explain how it got there or why it's there. I can't explain it. And I've couple videos of unexplained weird shit happening, but man, I'm going to tell you, dude, I've been slapped in the face in the middle of a location. Yeah, an unseen slap. And it's on one of our episodes we did.
Who'd you piss off?
This is what I was wondering. I was like, hey, man, that ain't fucking cool. I can't hit back, you fucking bastard.
Was it a dude or a chick?
Who prom date?
How dare you fucking slap me? At least buy me dinner first.
I've had my share of physical assaults too.
Really?
Sometimes. Yeah. I was choked in my bed, and I had handprint left on my neck.
Oh, that sounds,
now you're
that sounds hot, though. I mean, okay.
Well, I mean,
it's not hot when it like wakes you up and you can't breathe.
Wow.
And
what was his name?
Nah.
Oh, so you know his name.
That, I would have been happy about it, but no, I couldn't see what was doing it, so that totally changes everything. But and it was almost like, because the way that the hand mark was on my neck, it was like the hand was coming from behind my neck.
That's creepy as shit.
That is creepy.
Yeah. So.
Ghost, come on! You got to ask for consent, Ghost. Come on.
Yeah, right.
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
gonna tell you, man. You know, I look at it this way. There's so many things in the world that we don't understand, and we can't understand, and we're not allowed to understand, and we'll probably never understand.
Yeah.
And that's just life. I mean, there's got to be more than what we have right now. And I toy with the idea, is there an afterlife? And I'm like, well, there has to be, because what happened to my sister and me getting bitch slapped. And then, you know, just something, man, the shit that I've seen here and there, but there's got to be something. There's got to be something. Just like when people talk about aliens, I'm like, well, I'm kind of a believer, because you have to be an idiot to think there's nobody else in this big universe on another planet, living somewhere.
Oh, I totally think that's mathematically, that's pretty close to a mathematical certainty. My only problem is why the fuck would they come here?
Maybe they're drunk and they got lost. Hey, that place looks great. Let's stop by. Let's just see it's blue. Let's stop by that ball.
Yeah,
These people are idiots. Let's get out of here.
I want some of their stuff.
Right?
I hear they got great chronic down there.
Oh, what's his image?
I don't know, man.
What's his image, Timmy?
That's the picture from the handprint on my neck.
Oh, do you want me to show it or to show it to people?
You can. I don't care.
Timmy's cool like that. Okay, we'll put it on the screen soon. Okay, what was I gonna say? Oh, okay,
She'll show a picture of her being, after effects of being choked, but she won't wear your T-shirt.
Because the T-shirt, I'm swimming in it. It's too big. Okay, it's too big.
Stylize it. Make it. Look, I've seen chicks customize T-shirts before, right? They tie it in the back.
Yeah, but not when they're like 2 sizes too big. Like there's not much.
Oh,
I'll tell you what I do, Timmy G.
My wife wears my T-shirt sometimes just for like a nightgown.
Hey, Timmy
G. Because I'm a fat bastard.
Because that's how big it was on me.
All right, Jesse, you got to send her an extra small.
I'm gonna send her an extra small. Oh, so small, everything shows.
Ooh.
Okay.
Send her a Zach Baggins special medium shirt.
She's getting one of my shirts, damn it.
Oh, Chris.
I know.
I got a new line of underwear coming out too. No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Anyway, I was gonna say.
Butthole surfers underwear.
About the ghosts.
Yes.
About the ghosts you experienced, that your sister experienced. I have a question about: are there different levels of ghosts, like apparitions? Like, is there like a level 1, a level 4, or something like a?
I don't. You know what, man? I mean, there is a basic terminology. There's the what they call just a mist figure. It doesn't interact. And then there's a more of a physical, as they call physical, apparition, which is more forming and does interact. And then there's a poltergeist, which is more attacking and is very physical.
Yeah.
And then you have demons, which is possession. So there's, if you want to talk about levels, you got 4 levels.
You got 4 levels. Okay, so your sister dealt with a level 3 apparition? Is that right?
I would say more of a
category
2.
3.
There's a level 3.
Category 3.
Between a 2 and a
See, look at
category
this.
3.
We're getting scientific here. But
no,
okay.
It's not scientific until there's
Well, hold on here.
Reproducible.
Hold on. I'm onto something here. Hold on.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're on something?
Well, I'm not on something now, but hold on. Okay. Is there a way, from your experience, is there a way that you can kind of provoke or lure ghosts to see them? I mean, is there a way to kind of bring that about? And are there people that just can't see them at all?
You know what, dude? I'm going to be honest with you. It's like this. Scientists have actually proven that there's, and I hate to go this route, but that some psychic mediums actually tap into a certain part of their brain that most of us don't, and they have extra sensory perceptions.
What? For real? That's okay. You know what?
It's been.
Nope.
Scientists actually have studied it, and I'm just like, okay, they took 100 different people that claim to be psychics and studied them, and
was one of these Dr. Venkman?
Damn it! You found me out. Damn it! But you know, dude, it's to be honest with you, there is nothing. I mean, people say you can use a Ouija board to lure them out. I'm like, well, okay. A Ouija board is a piece of board with a piece of paper glued to it with a bunch of letters and pictures on it. The same as a Monopoly board. Yeah, you know, Monopoly board has the same board and the same piece of paper with different colors and pictures on it. You know what I mean? So
So I guess the question is like, what works? What's the trick? Why do some people have experiences?
Well,
and some people don't.
I got something for you.
Yeah.
So, me and my team, for a while, we started studying things on infrasound and vibrational frequencies.
Yeah.
And we started studying it, saying, okay, everything around us is in flux, which is fact. You know, wood, the table, everything's made out of atoms and molecules, and they're always moving. It's called a vibrational frequency. So, the human body is the same. So, the atoms in our bodies never die when we die. So, do they retain our memory? Like, because they retain energy. So, do they retain our memory when we die? And they're always fluxing and moving. So, we started designing new type of frequency sounds that would go from infrasound all the way up to 20,000 hertz. And we studied this for 2 years, and come to find out, at certain frequencies, shit happens. In certain frequencies, in certain places, it don't. It just depends on what's happening. Like more insane asylums where crazy shit always happened, or prisons would use a certain frequency and shit would just go off the hook. Or you go into a hospital.
How are they? How are they measuring this frequency again?
We're measuring it. We're actually recreating and measuring it.
Yeah, I was curious about what the recording mechanism is.
Yeah, because I'm hearing they're measuring it with what though?
Okay, so what we're using, we started using a better type of voice recorders that can actually measure frequencies, and we got involved with Tascam tools, and they actually have meters that you can watch the frequencies and how high they go and how low they go, and when things start to happen during that time, we would document something happening at a certain frequency, and then we would write that down, and we would keep repeating that, and then we would try a different frequency and see the difference. So there's a lot of paperwork and and my dog's knocking over a bunch of shit. That's awesome. Thanks,
That's right.
Good dog.
Good dog.
You're such a dick.
So we would
dogs being dogs, man.
So we would just push the boundaries with these frequencies, and to where we couldn't even stand being in the same room. We would walk out, and then we would go back and see what we captured. We would have cameras on our meters and on our voice recorders watching the frequency flux and document anything that was happening. So that's as far as we could get, trying to document any kind of proof of weird shit happening from the unknown. Okay. And that's about it. Not being a scientist. I'm not a scientist. Anybody says we use scientific methods. Are you a scientist? No. But
well, you don't have to be a scientist to use scientific methods. I mean, scientific method means you propose a hypothesis, you create tests to either prove it or disprove it, and then you try and recreate that.
Correct. But I don't like to say I use scientific methods. I say I use shit that I'm trying to make up and see if it works. And it worked.
Well, now the skeptical minded might be like, well, the reason why I'm on the fence on the paranormal, and I'm open-minded, like I just want to see something. I want to see something. I felt some weird presence before, and people tell me you don't want it. People tell me you don't want it, and I'm like, okay, let me.
No, don't want to see it. Just let it happen.
Let it happen.
Exactly. I think when you try too hard, you also block it out. I think there has.
But look, I mean, there's people that go through their whole life and never experience anything, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. To me, nowadays with the paranormal, and this is no offense to anybody that's still involved, it's more embellished today. It's more about money, and it's more about who's right and who's always wrong. Even though I say I'm right and you're wrong, that's kind of mentality of it today, and it's all about. Look what we're doing. We have a series now on YouTube or Vimeo.
And when I hear stuff like this, it intrigues me because it's like, okay, so you guys in the field are aware that there's some areas of bullshit. Some people are embellishing. Some people are just flat out lying. Some people are embellishing. But then, so it's like, well, then where's the truth? Where's it at? And I'm still open to find that. It's just I don't know how to find it. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I've had weird experiences before as a kid. I can't really explain them 100%. Are they ghosts? I don't really know.
It was Uncle Jerry.
Probably was. He touched me at night.
Damn it. You know that Uncle Jerry, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this, man. I look at this one. There's only one guy right now, and this is no offense to anybody else in the field, because I respect the people that are trying to do the right thing. There's one guy that I truly admire because he's one of those guys who says it like it is, and he's no bullshit, no hold bars, and he's very
Alex Jones.
Very skeptic.
I was joking.
Huh?
That was bullshit. I just threw Alex Jones' name in there. Sorry.
Alex. Well, this guy's very skeptic, but he's still trying.
Alex Jones doesn't believe his own bullshit. He's admitted he just does it to be controversial and to draw an audience. So I don't fault him for that, because he's just doing showmanship. He's just a P.T. Barnum kind of guy.
I mean, he's good at that. Okay.
Anybody that just talks like that is straight up. I got respect for him. At least they're being straight up. You know?
Yeah.
Turn the freaking frogs
for the
gay.
most part, right? You know, there's this one group of people, and this is what I've been seeing a lot lately. But one group of people that were in Florida, this family was like, "There's something going on in our house. We're scared. The kids are scared." And so this paranormal team went down there and said, "Oh, you got demons. You need to move out of your house and get away." And there was also a show that used to be like that too, and they would say, "Well, you need to move out of your house." It's dead files. Anyway.
And by the way, we'll buy it from you at a steep discount.
Yeah, right. But this team in Florida told these people to move out. So they moved out. They got another house. They rented a house so they get their house sold. They still had to pay on that mortgage. They uproot their kids from school. Kids had to make new friends. They come to find out the only thing that was wrong with their house that was supposedly demon infested was rat infested in the walls.
Yeah.
So
this
paranormal team caused this family emotional stress, financial stress, and it was just like, you know what? I'm fucking done with this shit.
I mean, come on. You can't tell rats in the walls?
Well, when you're not like there was like this loud banging above my mom's bedroom. It was like a year ago. And it would freak her out, and she'd come in my room like, "Oh my God, something's happening." And so at first, I'm like, okay, well, we got to figure this out. Like, we can't just say it's paranormal, because my house is haunted. But I went up in the crawl space above her room, and there was like droppings, and it kind of to find out that we did have a rat problem, and then we had raccoons that were on top of the roof.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
So
Great.
you have to look for things that are not paranormal.
Yeah.
Before you say it's paranormal.
Or squirrels. Squirrels are just as bad, because they're just furry-tailed rats.
Yeah.
And so people that don't do stuff like that,
and there's one guy.
Paranormal, and it's just,
there's one group right now that's out there, and they're the next big hit TV show, and they ain't nowhere. And they just did it. They crossed the line for me, and I was just like, I'm totally done with the paranormal. I did what I could.
Mm-hmm.
I got as far as I could with my research without going to college and trying to learn quantum physics and all this. And I was just like, I'm done. I'll pursue a filming career where my heart is.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
I've been that way for a while now, too, especially since I got sick. It was really an eye-opener to the people that I worked with and all of that stuff. I'm just kind of over it all.
No, but
I was just thinking that working in the paranormal probably really prepared you for the Hollywood bullshit.
Boy, let me tell you what.
Man, how do you deal with those snakes? Not naming names, but how do you deal with them?
Not naming names, but everyone in Hollywood.
A double talk, the play, they all act nice to your face.
They're pretty brutal in Hollywood, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
They'll be like, you know what? You're not what we're looking for. Nope. You're too fat. You're too white. Your eyes are not straight enough. Your hair's not long enough. I mean, they're brutal. And you just got to be just as brutal.
Man, but your experience it played into the movie though, and that's your debut film, right? Rosa Leigh?
Yeah.
No, I understand you had a documentary before that, which I don't know if you want to talk about that real fast. The
Manzo Shepherd story.
That's right, the Manzo Shepherd story.
Yep. It's a true story about actually these people that live in Harlan, Kentucky asked me to come down there. They said they have a lot of paranormal activity going on in this old courthouse, which had the jail, two levels of jail cells above it, which literally looked like a prison. I mean, hardcore prison. And so I started reading up on Manzo Shepherd, and him and his two buddies decided they were going to rob this cabbie in the early 1900s. His name was Joe Christian.
Yeah.
And come to find out, Joe Christian was not going to let that happen, and he fought them, and they ultimately killed him. And then they took his car and went to Manzo Shepherd's mom's house, and she said, well, give me your bloody clothes. Then leave the car. She burnt the car and burnt her bloody clothes, and then they hijacked another car, picked up a couple hitchhiking girls, and went to Virginia to go on a little crime spree and spend the money they had and drink and party. And well, they got busted, and then they were sent back to Harlan, Kentucky to stand trial. Manzo Shepherd's two buddies, they served a little bit of time, but they kind of turned tables on Manzo, and
of course
Manzo had to face for his crime. So when he went to court, Joe Christian's nephew was there, and Joe Christian's sister was there. And during the trial, Joe Christian's nephew walked up right behind Manzo Shepherd in the courtroom, shot him in the head in front of 300 people. It was like the whole town was.
This sounds like a Time to Kill. Grisham's story. I mean, a little bit. There's some elements to it that seem similar.
So what they did, they rushed Manzo Shepherd to the hospital right away. The judge asked the jury to go deliberate. And before they came out of deliberations, they called the hospital to see the status on Manzo Shepherd. Now, you get shot in the head, you're dead instantly. But they're playing along. We're still trying to revive him. We're still trying to keep him going.
What?
So then he asked the jury to come out and give their verdict, and they said, well, he's guilty and needs to be, put on death penalty, killed.
But he's already dead. He's like, you could just...
right. Then they called the hospital back. How is Mr. Shepherd? Oh, he just died. Oh, okay. Well, we passed sentence for, to be put on death row. Oh, he died. Oh, fulfilled.
Yeah.
So
got that
that's
covered.
how that worked.
Mm-hmm.
And so Joe Christian's nephew stood trial a week later for killing Manzo Shepherd and was released for temporary insanity and time served.
Wow.
And everybody
so he
loved
just goes
him.
up there and shoots a motherfucker in front of everybody. And he gets off.
In front of a judge.
Yep. Well, everybody
Judge
was so
fucking
upset
Dredd over here? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, Manzo Shepherd caused so much trouble in Harlan, Kentucky. He caused so much trouble.
Huh.
He ran a crime spree, so everybody just had it with him. So then, supposedly his spirit haunts the prison, or the courtroom, which had the cells where he stayed in above.
Yeah.
And so that's what they brought me down. So it's a paranormal documentary. We actually did reenactments of the whole crime scene of the murder of Manzo Shepherd. And that's where I met my amazing special effects makeup artist, Jennifer Fraggle D, who worked with me on Rosa Leigh and several other projects. And after I shot that documentary, that's when I told my wife, I says, I want to make a feature film. And that's when we came up with Rosa Leigh.
All right.
Cool.
Now, did you find anything? I mean, When you shot this, were you trying to find something, or was it just to reenact and just kind of go through the motions?
Yeah, how did you land on this story to do? Why was this compelling to you as a story?
Well, the person that met me a few years ago prior to that, her name was Lisa Peters. She, and I hate saying this because it sounds so cliche, so she was a fan of our show that we had. And so she met me at Scarefest. I'm no one big, man. I'm just a normal guy.
We're real small over here. We got some fans every now and then. They tell us some stuff. It's cool. I like it when they do. I like what they do.
It's interesting. You know, I just tell them, hey, I'm just a normal guy. So they brought my attention to about the Manzo Shepherd story. And I was like, well, this sounds interesting. And so then I talked to one of the city officials, and then we just started doing paperwork from there and wrote out a script for the reenactments. And then he says, well, after we do the reenactments, we'll go ahead and do a paranormal investigation of the courthouse and the jail cells. Now, I brought my good buddy in, the one I told you that is one I think is one of the greatest guys in the paranormal field. He's a big skeptic, and he's a no-holds-barred guy. His name is Matthew Jackson. And he has his gig is called Paraholics, which is the best thing I ever heard. He came in there as much as a skeptic as me, and hardcore skeptic, and he has this not a spirit box, but I don't know what it's called, but it was this thing, and it supposedly lets his spirits communicate. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna challenge this fucking thing because I don't believe in this shit. And so I took a cigarette and held it in my hand and walked down one of the jail cells and asked, I go, what's in my hand? And the damn fucking thing said smoke. Cigarette. And I'm like, what?
Oh, wow. That's
what?
crazy.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, no fucking way. And I showed, and no one in the room knew what I had in my hand. No one in the room. And I came back and go, look at this motherfucker. There's a cigarette in my hand. And dude, I'm telling you what, man, I tried to debunk this damn box that he has all the time, and I just can't, man. And the dude, my friend Matthew, was even tripping on it. He's going, that's fucking cool as shit. And I'm like, yeah, dude. And so, I mean, and I had 3 things thrown at me. I had a screw thrown at me and a rivet thrown at me. And I'm like, okay, that's never happened.
Like, when you say thrown at you, mean like it fell off the shelf, or like it was like launched across the room?
No, like someone like had it in their hand and tossed it across the room. Because I went up back there with my cameraman. I said, okay, I just want me and my cameraman up here now. I don't want no one else. I want to see if there's actually some shit going on. Man. And some shit happened. Pipes started fucking rattling in this old jail cell, and they're not hooked up to anything. And I can't explain it. I can't. Maybe the building sucks. I don't know. But I can't explain it. And then have something like someone took a rivet and threw it hard at me. It missed me, thank God.
And where would a rivet come from?
Yeah.
Well, the whole cells are riveted together, and they're tearing part of it apart.
Oh, I see.
So on the far right side, there's a bunch of rubble with old, the cut down where they went in there with welders and the torches, and they cut the cells down, and there's rivet pieces laying all over the floor. So, but my cameraman was on my ass the whole time, and unless he's a magician and I don't know it, that he somehow miraculously got a rivet and threw it at me.
But
I don't know how that happened.
You got that on camera? The rivet being thrown at you?
You hear it, but you don't see it.
Almost there.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
I know, almost there. But to hear something, you hear this thing just launch. You don't hear it launch, but you hear it hit so hard, and you're just trying to figure out how in the fuck can that happen. With that much velocity, or for that loud of a bang, it had to have some serious velocity behind it.
That's crazy.
Can I prove? I can't prove there's something in that room besides me and my cameraman to throw it. Can't prove it, but it happened. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
All right.
The problem with audio is that people can fake it. People can just play an audio clip.
Oh, absolutely.
Not saying that you did. like for me, I'm like I said, open-minded, but I have my reservations. If I were to flat out see something, like something I cannot explain, and I'm saying like it was just like a smoky, hazy orb that just sort of like orbited around.
Orb.
It can at least be an orb. It can be something.
Come on. No. Use orb.
Listen. I like that you're dismissing the orb, but I'm saying not on a photograph. I mean right in front of me. I mean like we're talking about like a beach ball size.
I've seen orbs with my eyes. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I have not seen anything with my eyes, like paranormal or anything. But
let me tell you what. Through the whole season that I had our show, our paranormal reality show for 5 seasons, we are the biggest goof off, fuck off fuckers that we were on the show, and we disproved just about everything. We hear something and we go after it and go, nope, that's what this is. Nope, that's what this is. That's what that is. Hardly did we capture anything, and we left it up to our viewers. We left our emails and everything. If you think you know what this is, hit us up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because we don't. We dismiss pretty much everything, and that's just the way it is. But we had fun doing it. I think people watch us more to watch us be goof offs than anything else.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Cool.
I've actually seen a number of phenomena that I have no explanations for, none of which I jump to any conclusions about what it is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I just say, well, I don't know what that was, but that was cool.
Yeah, we've done that before. Be like, well, that was fucking cool. Whatever it was, that was fucking cool.
Man.
Yeah.
Or if one of our guys get freaked out, we would laugh at him on camera. Like, look at you.
Man, I never even had that. If I saw something that I couldn't explain, that would be something. Please just give me that. Come on. Who do I have to pray to? What
well,
why don't you just like go on an investigation with me, and you'll probably see something.
I'd do it.
Like I said, 30-some years. 30-some years I was involved with it. I got I can count on both hands some shit that I cannot explain in 30-some years. That's it.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. Tammy, you come down to Texas, and we're going to hit up Galveston. There's some haunted places there.
I'm moving in like a few months, so let's do it.
We'll do a live show over there. SK probably be where he's at. But he can do it remotely.
What? You can buy me first class tickets to Galveston.
I can't do stairs.
I'm working on that.
By the way, none of the weird phenomena that I've seen would ever be considered paranormal. Just strange things. I've seen a short black contrail in the air while flying that was rotating the wrong direction
UFO.
Relative to our flight path. That was just weird. I don't know what the fuck that was, right?
Oh, dude, it could have been anything. I mean,
it could have been anything, right?
It could have been God farting. Who knows?
Yeah. Good I mean, I saw laser blasts over an Air Force base. I've seen.
You sure you haven't smoked any weed?
Not then.
No, okay.
Yeah, I saw a pillar of fire once, but that's nothing.
Well, I just had a pillar of fire in my backyard.
No. I mean like a tall one. Like I woke up one night to the sound of like the whoop whoop, the sound of police. But it was like must evacuate the area right across the street from my house where I used to live at. There's a private airport, and behind that there was there's some oil fields in the area where I live, right? And
okay.
I think that flame, whatever they used to, to kind of burn off some of the something put out there, something happened, and it just went off. And when I went outside, it looked like a scene from a fucking movie. It did. Like when I say a pillar of fire, it was a pillar of flame just going up to the sky. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It looks like
like a fire tornado.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. Yeah, we're leaving. I mean, nothing happened. They contained it, but I was like, oh god damn.
Well, that's not exactly unexplained, then, is it? If they contained it.
No, it's not. It's not unexplained, but that's the closest thing I got to because I was playing a lot of Doom then, you know? So I was like, oh shit, is this fucking hell? What's going on here?
Hell's just visiting for a little bit.
Oh, man.
He does live in Texas.
Yeah.
Well, that
Hey,
explains
I'm
it all.
about to move to Texas.
Hey, Texas is fine, man. Texas is right. Okay, so what do you know about urban legends? We talked about you have an interest in that, but I don't know how much you know.
Well, let me put it this way: the whole, that's cryptozoology. Urban legends. Just like there was some that when I lived in Southern California, there was a few urban legends, and I would, the whole goat man, or the lizard man, or.
I don't know those.
I'm the lizard man.
It's just. There's just so many different urban legends. I mean, there's a plethora of them, man, and it's just, I think they're just all campfire stories, man. That just, again, were embellished, and there's no proof on some of these urban legends.
Aw, man, I saw the goat man before. Come on.
Okay.
It was in my dreams, though. Does it count?
Oh. Okay, yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, let's run with that. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Sure, Jesse. Yeah, that's reality.
Snap down.
There we go. I mean, how much was he the night before he's passed out?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You also
$20
dreamed
is
about
$20.
Cheryl Teagues. Did that come true?
I tried to.
Well, depends if the poster was on the wall in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my point.
Hey, by the way, got another double shot of Kraken. If we can get, right now we're at 12 likes. If we can somehow get it to 15, that'd be great. I'm just saying.
My God.
Come on, we can do it. I know we get a small crowd. Maybe we can launch up the conversation with some crazy urban legends. I don't know. But what's the craziest thing you've heard, though? Because to me, it's like, and like you're right, they're just campfire tales, kind of like bullshit. But you hear like things like Bloody Mary, which everyone's heard that. There's like Blue Baby.
Yeah, the Bloody Mary story, dude. God, what's the craziest one? There was one in California. This supposedly this deformed gentleman that had bumps all over his skin, and if you go anywhere near his property at a certain time at night, he'll come out there and he'll sacrifice you to his demons or whatever god he's into, and no one could ever find him, but he was always there, and he was lurked behind the trees, and he'd peek out around at a certain time at night and be following you, and it's just like, you guys, those are the kind of people that have a white van with no windows.
The urban legend actually sounded kind of legit at first. A man with a bunch of bumps on his California. I don't know. It sounds like one of the. Look, man, I'm hearing some medieval plagues are starting to break out. There's meth.
Meth.
Well, you know what? We had a recent urban legend just 2 years ago. The creepy clown phenomena.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But was that
yeah.
really urban legend? Because people actually legit like that was really happening though.
It was not actually happening. It was total bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Well, people start jumping out at you out of behind a dumpster or something. Oh, I'm a crazy clown. Yeah, well, you're dead.
Yeah. It was even the news accounts could never find a firsthand witness. Mm-hmm. It was all bullshit.
It was. It's. I think urban legends is something for people to entertain themselves, and I still haven't seen any. I tried the Bloody Mary thing when I was younger. Who hasn't?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know who hasn't. Yeah.
You?
I tried the Tammy G one, and it worked.
Oh, Tammy G came to your house, huh?
You wish.
Yeah.
But I haven't really experienced them that much. Same with the cryptozoology. I only have one thing on that. I'm just like.
Which one thing?
Well, the one thing is
Chupacabra.
There's always a new creature being discovered every day. The chupacabra is just a friggin' dog that's got mange or some shit like that.
Oh, come on. He's more. Come on.
Well, okay. He likes dog biscuits. All right, Scooby snacks. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll tell you
Give
what.
him some Scooby snacks.
Who doesn't?
I will
Well,
flat
this
out.
is true.
I will flat out believe the chupacabra story if I ever see a dog sucking blood out from a goat. If I ever see that, I'll be like, okay, there you have it. That's the chupacabra.
Coyote.
A coyote.
Coyote.
They do that. They suck
Coyote
blood
with
from a
mange.
goat.
Coyote with mange.
There was mange, yes. Coyote with mange. Who probably ran into a meth lab one day by accident.
Well, they have a bunch of them down there.
Now, let me tell you what. About 5 to 10 years ago, there was an urban legend of a 6-foot chimpanzee in South America. No one could ever capture it. No one could ever see it. But there's been, I count witnesses. Oh, I've seen it, but no one's ever physically seen one, captured one or had it on video. Well, about 5 to 10 years ago, they captured one on video in South America, a 6-foot chimpanzee. So that urban legend, aka cryptozoology, whatever, all came true.
Yeah.
There's one that came true. So could that be?
Yeah. I mean, there are. You're absolutely right. There are species thought to have been extinct for tens of thousands of years.
Tasmanian devil was thought to be extinct, but it's not, apparently. I don't know. But Australia's huge, So
the Tasmanian tiger, I think there's still people reporting seeing, even though they're supposed to be extinct.
Yeah, that's
recently, supposedly one was sighted, and now they're talking about the Siberian. What is that? The Siberian, not tiger, but
Taiwanese tiger. Wasn't it Taiwan?
No, it was just the snow leopard. The snow leopard. They said it was extinct, and now they have witnessed one. So now that's coming back. So I mean, I'd rather just see an alien get it over with and say, "Here, blow all your minds away, fuck you guys. Here, get alien probe and get it done with." All right.
So I live up in the Pacific Northwest, and I've lived here most of my life. I've lived in other parts of the world as well, but I never go into the mountains without scanning the hillsides for a fucking, Bigfoot. I'm always on the lookout. Have been all my life.
Dude, I would love to sit down and just see one. Just say, hey,
yeah,
how
right?
you doing? Come here. Sit right here. Let's talk.
Come on, buddy.
I got some beef jerky for you. Come here. I mean, would it be awesome to see some of this shit? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But I mean, is it ever going to happen? Who knows, man?
Yeah.
Who knows? Just like ghosts. We're ever going to, until a ghost actually comes and sits down and goes, look, check it out. You guys are all idiots. This is what we're made of. This is how we exist. You got it? Good.
I love that.
And then there'll still be someone going, that's not real. Yeah, fuck you.
Why would ghosts know what they're made of?
Well, they would be the first-hand experience on it, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
I guess so.
But you know what? If you go back 200 years, people didn't even know what they were made of.
No, this is true. So, time, evolution, things happen. Hey, why not? Maybe God will come down and go like, hey, listen, guys, stop it. You guys quit it. You're wrong.
I'd be more inclined to think that what we consider paranormal activities are some quantum overlap.
Okay.
So like another dimension type thing?
Yeah, some overlap with a parallel universe.
I mean, look, Einstein believed in it.
Yeah.
Edison believed in it.
Well, Edison's
he's kind of a thief.
Yeah.
Tesla, he absolutely believed in it. And so, but
Tesla was an amazing lunatic.
He was an amazing lunatic that got screwed by J.P. Morgan and Edison, Thomas Edison. J.P. Morgan fucked them over, pulled out their funding, and gave it to Thomas Edison, and said, "Hey, look, this is what Tesla said. Check it out. Why don't you try this? Oh, great idea! I will capitalize on it."
Look at that.
Tesla demonstrated things with electricity that nobody to this day can explain.
No, if Tesla made it, if he had his way, everybody would have free electricity, and even Tesla talked about wireless communication.
Yeah, there's a theory why it was shut down, right? The theory is that the government didn't want the free energy. They didn't want people to have free energy.
No, and that's when J.P. Morgan pulled out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
said, nope.
there's no ROI on free.
Yeah.
No, there isn't at all. So that's why they said, we're out of here. We're going to Edison. He wants to make money. So do we.
You know, before we get to the end here, let's make sure we talk about what you're working on now. Now, have you said you're going back into the film, right? You're working on another project. How much have you put into it so far?
We've already got locations. We have actors.
Okay.
We already got the actors lined up. We already have the cast and crew. Well, we still got to cast some more, but the crew's already lined up. We have the script. We're on number 4 of the final rewrite for the script. We already have a producer, 2 producers, very well known in the industry. And then we have an investor we're waiting on to drop the funding. This store.
Is that the Lilly's Cry? Or sorry, I'm just looking at the IMDb.
No, Lily's Cry I walked out away from. I backed out of that. So the new one's called For the Love of My Daughter. And it's a true story of what happened in Ohio, where this gentleman was 2 years ago. He was interviewed in prison by a high school student. They were doing a scare straight program with some high school students in Ohio. So this gentleman was, we will call him by his character, John. And he was in prison at Mansfield Prison. And so she interviewed him, and the story was what he did. He committed murder. He murdered his ex-wife and her boyfriend in their home, cut them up in 1-inch squares, bagged them up and threw them in a freezer. And he got caught. The reason why he murdered his ex-wife is because she got custody of their child when they were divorced.
That's a good reason.
Which, well, it gets worse. Pretty much for the most part, when there's a divorce, the mother will generally will default to custody.
Yeah.
I'm going to find out she got involved with drugs, and they put his 13-year-old daughter, her and his 13-year-old daughter, in a sex trafficking ring to score drugs.
What?
He got wind of this.
Yeah.
Staked them out for 2 months, watched their activity at their house. When he got his daughter for a week, he told her to stay home. He went over there and murdered them. And because he snapped, you take my 13-year-old daughter and put her in the sex trafficking ring. Her own mother did this. Yeah. And so...
and this is based on a true story?
This is an actual true story. It really did happen.
Oh, shit.
I have the original interview notes. And during the interview note, on the notes, the interviewer asked him, "Why did you do this?" He goes, "For the love of my daughter."
And let me tell you something, man. And, like that stuff, like good luck getting state officials involved, like law enforcement or CPS involved, because when they start interviewing the daughter, all she has to do is not disclose anything, and then the case is shut down, and then she's still in the fucking ring. It's still there's.
Yep.
It's really bad right now. Ohio is the worst state for sex trafficking.
Oh,
and Kentucky is just as bad. And the reason why it's so bad over here is because of the 75 freeway runs all the way from Canada straight down to the bottom of Florida. So it's a great traffic ring. Oh, and plus, the mother that got involved and put her daughter in this, she got involved. She got in a bad accident when she was still married to John, and the painkillers weren't working anymore, and the doctors cut her off, and she turned to heroin. And she got addicted to heroin, and that's what caused the divorce. And so we're touching on 2 bases of the heroin epidemic that's really bad and sex trafficking ring that's really bad. And so John, he died less than 2 years ago. He was given 2 life term sentences, and so he's passed away now. But here's the crazy thing: when he killed his ex-wife, the daughter was upset with him for murdering her, even though her own mother put her in this situation. But it was still her mother.
Yeah.
then she was upset because now she lost her dad too, because he's going away.
Right.
In prison. But before he passed away, she grew up. She got married to a very nice gentleman. She had a baby, and she got to take her baby and go show John. So John got to see his grandchild before he passed away. So to me, it's a very compelling story. At first, when I heard of the heinous of the crime, I couldn't believe anybody would do that. But then I found out why. I was like, all right, I get it.
There's a story.
None of us will know what we'll do in a situation when it comes to our child. We have an idea. Oh yeah, I would kill somebody too, but how far would you go? You don't know.
I wouldn't go far enough to get. I wouldn't get caught.
You'd hope not.
Well, you know, that's another thing. We don't understand why he put the body parts in the freezer. Why not just get rid of them?
Yeah, cover your tracks, dude.
Put him in acid.
But that's what got him caught. Right. Yeah. Throw him on a pig farm.
Yeah.
Pigs eat it all. So that was what, you know, and he said he would do it again, but maybe not as extensive, but he would do it again because it's his daughter. And so that's where we came with the title of the film, For the Love of My Daughter.
Oh, that is a good film. That's a good story to.
And we got a pretty good cast.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Can you drop a hint?
Yep.
You want to drop a hint?
Let me see. Let me give one. Costas Mandylor. He was the detective in the Saw movies, the bad detective.
Oh,
nice.
That's a
Vernon.
That's
Vernon Wells. Vernon Wells was. He was in the Road Warrior movie with the Mohawk on the bike. He was in Weird Science, the same character, the Mohawk, and he was in Commando. He was in Commando next to Arnold Schwarzenegger. So got him, and then we have Robert Mukes, who was in Rob Zombie's House of Thousand Corpses. He played the brother with the tow truck.
Oh, okay.
He's been several TV shows. So, and then Kate Hodge. She's been on CSI, Blue Bloods.
Yeah. Okay. That's not bad.
That's
I hope
that's a solid cast, man.
Good cast, good story. I hope to see this, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
How long? I mean, what will you see it next year? 2 years from now? Like, how long is it gonna take?
We're looking to start shooting in January, so we got a month to shoot it, and then we probably won't have it out until a year later. Okay. Vernon Wells is he's acting, but he's also the producer as well. We're going through him to get the film out.
Okay. And do you know if it's going to go to theaters or?
We want it to go to theaters. It probably won't be like the 250 theaters in the United States or 300 theaters. It'll probably be limited engagement.
Yeah.
But it's a powerful story, so we're hoping to turn around and sell it straight to.
Fuck yeah, man! Hey, you already have a win. It's a break from Spider-Man comic book movies, so there's that.
No kidding, Jesus. Yeah,
yeah.
I still haven't seen the new Joker movie. I like what they've done with it. It sounds cool. It's not just a comic book film. It's they actually went serious with it.
Dark.
Yeah.
Well, it's very dark, and it's touching on mental illness. Is what it's doing.
It's like somebody compared it to Taxi Driver. So like, okay.
Oh, that was a great movie. That was a great movie.
Man, just like I think that'd be cool to do if it's possible. Like these comic book movies, these characters, if you could just make it where I don't know, a little bit more down to earth and believable or something. I don't know, but then it's
exactly more realistic, a little bit more. Like you said, believable.
But then it's not like the comics, man. It's like, okay, well.
Okay.
Right. But, you know, I tell you what, when we start shooting this film, I'm so blessed to be working with my wife. Now she's working in the industry now for a little over a year. She's loved it. And working with Herschel Zahn from Renegade Arts, my production company, Creepy Attic Productions, Ville TV, Sean Burton Saunders, Awesome CN, Small Step Films, and everybody is we have a great crew, and I think we're going to be very successful, and we got a great producer, and I'm also bringing in another producer and stunt coordinator, Nick Plantico. He's been in the film industry for 37 years. He's actually the one I worked for as a PA when I first started in the industry in California, and now he's going to be working for me.
Cool. Now we're almost. So it's we're actually at the time here, but well, I mean, if you have a few more minutes, SK, you said you have a few Florida stories, Florida man stories. I don't know if we want to do them now.
Nah, let's save them.
Save them for later?
Let's
okay.
Save them.
And Tammy, you've been quiet. You there?
I've just been listening. You guys have been talking. I've been listening.
I think you don't understand the concept of a co-host.
Oh, shut up. Hey, I spoke.
Tammy.
And my phone kept cutting out. I had to keep joining back in, too.
I saw that.
I did.
Hey. I noticed things. But you've been quiet. And one thing we could use more of is Tammy's voice.
Okay.
Especially that laugh. Okay.
Whatever. I hate my laugh. Don't even.
Okay. All right. Well, that's amazing stuff, man. I look forward to that film. Thank you so much, Christopher Maggard, coming onto the show and talking to us about your movie.
We need to get him back on when he's in the middle of filming.
Yeah.
And he's going insane.
Oh yeah, you want to hear me yell? You want to hear me yell, stress, and cry, and
absolutely.
I'll even sit in a bathtub, sucking on my thumb, crying with the water hitting on me. Oh, that's a crying game. Sorry.
Exactly right. That'd be a good show.
Would be. I love it.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Talk about Rosa Leigh, the Manzo Shepherd Case. We talked about a bunch of your paranormal experiences. Touch base on that. Urban legends. It was good content. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too, man.
And like I said, man, this is a conversation. Feel free to hop on anytime, maybe during the middle of that production, or maybe later on. Yeah, come on. We'll talk about it. Have a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, if you made it this far, press the like button, share, subscribe. Y'all's help makes this channel grow. I was about to say this shit grow.
Make this shit grow. We want our shit to grow.
That's not how shit works, I don't think.
I don't think so. Anyway, y'all take it easy.
Night.
All right.